Welcome, fight fans, to a new year and a new episode of the Hooks In MMA podcast. We're up to episode 73. We're in our third calendar year. So thanks for coming along for the ride. We've got plenty of more winning picks to share with you and plenty more great interviews with UFC fighters, prospects, and veterans. This week, we've got a UFC fighter who's going to be on the undercard of the Kattar Chikadze fight here. It's a fight night, Saturday night in Vegas at the Apex. His name is Dakota Harry Bush. He's a lightweight fighting out of Missouri, and he's fighting kind of an unknown guy, 5-1, coming off a big win at the Contender Series via Borshev, who has another pretty funny nickname, the Slava Claus. So it's going to be battle of the funny nicknames squaring off. So make sure to tune into that interview and cheer him on Saturday night. We're going to be looking at some of the upcoming fights here in 2022, picking out some of our favorites and previewing them for you. And then, of course, getting ahead of that book, we've got Easy Lines. He's been studying over the winter break. Got a lot of winners this Saturday night. So make sure to tune in to Z's segment. And we'll kick things off with some hot headline news.
Yeah, just what you said there, Kronz, Slava. He, great nickname as well as our guest, the Harry Bush. But on the Contender Series, they brought him on. This guy was like he just traveled over to North America on a whim, and Team Alpha Male took him under his wing, and he kind of had a video that went viral last year where he's doing a pretty cool dance to a pretty cool song, and Uriah Faber's in the background, just loving it. And then this guy gets a chance on the Contender Series and looked unbelievable. He's a really nice prospect, with a lot of upside. And we didn't name him in our upside picks just because of the limited amount of fights he's had. But make sure you do tune in, like, subscribe, share, and check out our upside / win streak and exciting picks, our top 5 from every division, men's and women's, for 2022. Make sure to check that out. We believe we got a lot of names on that list that are going to shine this year, so check that out. That should be a great fight. He was pretty cool to talk to, Dakota Bush, and excited for the fight night this week, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I guess the first thing we're gonna talk about is, they take a month off. The new year arrives, and all of a sudden they got a lot of fights that they are announcing. Some really, really exciting fights. I know a lot of times when we do Easy Lines, Ben Zeman does a great job of his his picks from main card mostly, and then we kind of focus on the undercard stuff for some of our value picks. The fight that I'm most excited about, Zeman also agreed with me on, upside, is Shavkat Rakhmonov, undefeated Kazakhstanian. I don't even know if that's a word, but he's from Kazakhstan, and this guy's undefeated, and he's 2-0 in the UFC, 2 finishes, and he's fighting Carlton Harris, I think South African, and I'm really excited for that fight. I mean, these are 2 prospects that maybe after this win will climb into the top 15. And we know at welterweight, the top 15, we need some new blood there. We got Chimaev, we got Sean Brady, and we need some new blood there. Usman, like Zeman said today, has fought Colby twice, has fought Masvidal twice. We need some new blood. And Carlton Harris, 17-4 against Shavkat Rakhmonov, 14-0. That is the fight that I'm circling in as one of my favorites to see in the next couple months here. That's on February 5th. So about a little less than a month away.
How about you, Z? What do you look forward to here?
Yeah, I like that. I was looking pretty forward to Holloway and Volkanovski, and it lasted about 24 hours, that hope, right? That was kind of funny. Funny depending on what way you look at it, but only lasted for a little bit. But a Volkanovski and Korean Zombie, I think, is, although most likely will be pretty well favored for Volkanovski. I haven't looked at that line yet that is open, but I think it's an exciting fight, certainly. So I'm excited for that one. Still, that matchup still, I think, brings a lot of fireworks. The other kind of, I think, underdog one per se, or maybe not as on the radar for everyone. I think it was just announced yesterday, perhaps, by Kattar France, Asker off, I believe, March
Fantastic fight.
27th. Yeah, that's a great one. I think it's really exciting as well. But hopefully I'm not taking too many of Kron's berries already, whatever he was going to say. But I mean, the main one, kind of the headliner that everyone, of course, that one was just announced yesterday, I believe as well. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. I think that was the replacement there as the headliner.
And it looks like Diaz Poirier is the co-main. That's what it seems.
Right. Yes.
Which we were talking that one. Yeah, we were talking about earlier. Like both those two main events, they're not title fights, and that rarely happens on a pay-per-view. So that just shows what kind of numbers those guys bring in, right? So.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
And the press conference for that's going to be absolutely.
Yeah, I'm almost excited as that for like as the fight itself. That press conference is going to be awesome. Can't wait. They're both going to do something ridiculous and say ridiculous things. So they're going to bring up the past in some weird way. What's going to be true or not going to be true? Hey, it's going to be up to us for just to decipher, I guess. But that's part of the game and what's going to be fun.
Yeah, no matter what's said, it's like whatever happens in the cage and those, if it's 25 minutes or 15, like you can say all the shit you want, right? But yeah, Kronz, what are a couple that you had there, buddy?
So I'm going to call out a specific card that I think is a big sleeper card with huge upside, and that's the Santos Ankalaev Fight Night, March 12th. Specifically, so that's a great fight, of course, that's the headline, but specifically on the main card as well, that I'm really looking forward to is Bruno Silva versus Alex Pereira.
Oh, that's a fantastic fight.
You know, you see and you hear of Pereira's like kickboxing background, beating Izzy a couple times, just dismantling the guy he faced first in the UFC. But then you click into Bruno Silva's Tapology and you just look like the guy's nuts. Like he's undefeated in the UFC, 3-0. His last 7 all by knockout.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Is gonna be crazy. So like I can't even see it on the odds yet. It's not released yet. So that I'm very curious. I think is a coin flip because they're both killers, but yeah,
I think that one. Kronz, I couldn't agree more. That's one of the best fights announced in the entire year. I think just based on the aura and his past, I think Pereira might be favored. It might be one of those like Chikadze, Kattar like lines. He might not be quite that big, a little smaller, but I think based on his name, like that'll bring it up. I think it's a coin flip. I agree with you.
The casuals and stuff, right? Like public money is going to be going in on him, but
yep. It's just a sleeper card. I couldn't agree more with you. Song Yadong, Marlon Moraes actually looked unreal against Merab. He just ended up kind of fading a little bit, which is what his what he's been doing the last few years. And then Alex Caceres has been on a huge climb here, and he's facing Super Sadiq Youssef. So that's a big fight as well. So yeah, I'm excited
Ricky
for that.
Glenn, pretty good as well. Like
so good.
I memean, you get into the prelims, sure, it's not as strong, but the main card for Fight Night, you know, you can't get much better than that.
A 10-0 Russian too, a contender series guy that people were talking the fucking lights out about. Azamat Murzakanov too is on the prelims, so that watch out for that guy. That guy's going to be good too. He's 10-0.
I see that. That was a rescheduled bout, right? That one was supposed to happen. Yeah. So. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing a episode for that in early March, right before St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, make sure.
And sorry to interrupt, Kronz. Z, I just checked to see if there was a line like on Bet365 for the Korean Zombie Volkanovski. There's not. But what I did run across was the fight that I was mentioning: Shavkat Rakhmonov and Carlson Harris.
Yeah.
Shavkat's at -275 favorite.
Yeah.
They are favoring him huge with his record, and which to me that's exciting because I I love this guy. I think he's going to be something special. But I think that's maybe too high based on Carlston's recent success. But I did see that one there, and I just wanted to throw out that line. That's a very big differential, I think, for two guys that have been on the upswing. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's just indicative kind of like what's happening in MMA overall in UFC. Like there's just so many ridiculous fighters coming up and just matchups to be made. It's especially even like, welterweight has been kind of the same type of guys for a little bit, right? So a couple to maybe 2 or 3 years, right? So some of these guys coming up now. And yeah, I haven't really been on the radar of this Carlston Harrison guy, but yeah, he's 17-4. Like that's pretty good.
He's not a bum. Like he's fucking good, man. Like look at his finishes too. Like he's been kind of a murderer. Like the last 5 fights, finishes. 5 finishes, and like of a different way too. Like knockouts, punches, darce, anaconda, hooks to ground strikes. Like it looks like he can go anywhere. So like, man, this fight that's gonna be good. But I don't know about that line. It scares me. Also on that card too, the February 5th, the main event is for Manson Strickland, and obviously Strickland's been coming up in the news a lot. Like this guy's nuts, knocking out people with his shin guards, like training partners that are just trying to help him out, like talking about like God and like his inner self wants to murder people. He wants to die in the cage and all this stuff. Like, fuck, man, if I'm Hermanson, I don't even care if I think I'm better than him. Like, it's a scary kind of face when he's just that nuts. So I'm excited for that main event too.
Yeah, definitely gets in your head because you can tell he's actually not lying. Like sometimes
his training sessions, he's like, murdering people. Like where Holloway doesn't even fucking spar anymore, and then you got Strickland that only wants to spar. He's asking to spar Ngannou. They said yes a couple of times because they're like, sure. And then fucking Ngannou hasn't sparred him anytime recently in the last few weeks because he's probably fucking nuts. Like he just tries to take your head off every day. Fuck, man, that guy's a scary guy.
Yeah. I gotta go back and watch his Usman fight because I just can't remember how that went down.
I actually don't remember specifically how that went down either. But I think there was pre-accident where like that changed his mindset, but. When was that?
2017. So it was good 4 years.
Yeah, that was before, but still. I wonder. We should rewatch that fight. That'd be interesting to see. It's weird that it was an 18-1 fighter against an 8-1 fighter. That doesn't happen a lot, but go back and watch that. Check it out.
Even just to like look up the scorecards to see how he fared against them.
Said unanimous, but. Did he win a round? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right. Like sometimes, we can look it up, but you can see who landed what and how many takedowns and stuff.
But yeah, scary fight and good card. And then should we maybe talk about this weekend?
Yeah, let's head on into easy lines.
And Giga.
Yeah, I think Z-Balls will start us off with our stats heading into the new year. And just so our listeners know, we had a heater of a Q4. We're going to post some stats on our Instagram this week just to highlight our profitability here and just more reason to be tuning in every week and to be following our pages and to be sharing with your friends. So
I'm still burnt from a month ago. Like I haven't been able to scrape off all the burn marks. So just such a heater.
Still recovering right now. But yeah, no, fair enough. Well, we've definitely hit our quota for Q4, as they say. We hit our bonus for sure. But yeah, we ended up, to recap 2021 at least, we ended up with 61 wins and 43 losses, putting us at a 58.6% win rate. Overall, though, our career right now, we're at 60.8% winning rate. So we had a slightly more successful 2020 than 2021. Certainly glad we were able to reach our goal, though, climb our way back, get our career winning clip back to over 60% there at the end of Q4, as we were talking about at the end of the year. So, but we'll be looking to do our very best here in 2022 as well. Dare I say a goal of 70% wins this year. Let's go for it. I think it's a
Ooh.
very high goal for us, but attainable. So let's shoot for that 70 this year. Just on the year 2022.
Hooks in, don't go small. We go big or go home here.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Oh,
Why
yeah.
wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't anybody?
But yeah, so anyways, that's kind of a recap there for hopefully you got for you guys that are listening here. We're gonna get the stats going on your screen eventually and stuff like that. Hey, bear with us, we're gonna get some stuff figured out. But going into this weekend, we got a really strong main event, featherweight fight with the number 3 ranked Calvin Kattar taking on number 8 ranked and fast rising UFC star, right? Giga Chikadze, or wait, Chikadze. Yeah, there we go.
You got
Chikadze. That's the first and last time I'm going to say it, because that's the only time you're going to get it right.
Just say Giga kick.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. Yeah, everyone just knows that, right? At this point. So Giga. But anyways, although Giga, he's been fighting MMA professionally, only lasts about 3 or 4 years, basically, not as well known. That's why I said it's fast rising MMA, but very successful kickboxer. Before his MMA career, 22 knockouts and 38 wins in kickboxing. So he's been absolutely ripping through the UFC, 7 wins in a row, finishing Edson Barbosa and Cub Swanson as well most recently, which is probably why why he's a decent size favorite right now over such a talented guy like Calvin Kattar. Currently, Giga's a minus 250, with Kattar coming in at a whopping plus 200, in my opinion. Kattar's last fight is an imprint on everyone's mind, including the bettors, as Kattar got pretty much, completely butchered by Holloway back in January in 2021, almost a year ago, exactly to the day on Saturday. So tough to predict exactly how Kattar's going to come back out after a loss like that. Is he going to let that type of loss, really affect him and let him, become a lesser version of himself or not really evolve? Or is he going to evolve, improve his defensive technical striking and look to mix in more grappling into his attacks as well? I think he needs to bring more balance there in order to have any type of chance to win this fight. He certainly showed his toughness and willingness to go to distance, but how many shots and damage can a guy really take until it starts really affecting him, right? He's an extremely offensive fighter, which has brought him a lot of success. But at these top, absolute top levels, guys will be able to poke holes in his game. And if you're going to play that kickboxing game with Giga, good luck. That's a dangerous game for anyone. So overall, I do think, though, as I've alluded to already, Kattar, it shouldn't be a plus 200 in this matchup, maybe a plus 160, 165, in my personal opinion. I think that Holloway beating him is still, like I said, fresh in people's mind a year later. That being said, I'm taking Giga to win this fight. Giga out kickboxing Barbosa on his last fight was so impressive to see. Giga's kicks were faster than Barbosa's. I don't think I was ever going to see that unless Barbosa was like 58 years old or something. Maybe someone be fast, but it's already happening. Still both 33 years old in their prime. Yeah, prime Barbosa, right? He's out kicking this guy. If Kattar wants any kind of chance, I think he'll have to be, number one, be more responsibly defensively in the striking game, but still be able to put pressure on if he mixes in that wrestling and grappling base, which he does have. Now that swings his chances more closer into his favor, in my opinion. Giga does extremely well hanging out on the outside, obviously, with those long, snappy, accurate kicks. As I already said, they're so fast. So Calvin's going to have to, close the distance, get in that medium boxing range, push Giga up against the fence, really make this a dirty boxing fight. Again, look those takedowns, ground and pound situations. That's how he wins this fight. For me, I really like the over in this fight. Over 2.5 rounds was a minus 150 last night. We're recording right now on Wednesday night. It's already down to a minus 175 or up, whatever the right word is, minus 175 on Bet365. So get your parlays in right now if you agree with that, because it's going to be minus 200 by the time the fight time starts. Great to put in a 3 or 2 leg parlay. I'm leaning towards Giga finish. end of third round, maybe sometime in the fourth. I think we, my teammates here, my podcasts, whatever they are here, friends.
How about
here,
your fucking friends, man?
Well, I mean, what's the
Who the
technical?
hell are we to you?
Co-founders.
What's
Co-founders.
Co-founders.
No,
I'll go with that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
We're not some guys off the street. You just met, I'll tell you that.
That's co-host. That's the real thing. But anyway, so my co-host over here, they might disagree with some of the specifics here, but I think we're mainly in agreement with the over. I think that's kind of the main thing here, and there's certainly some value on Kattar, right? Kattar by finish is a plus 400, by decision plus 500. Whatever you feel there. Hedge it, use that to hedge against whatever you want to take with Giga. I'm going with Giga by finish. I think he's going to be able to. I think Kattar's taken too much damage in his career. He's not going to change up his style. Most likely, he's welcome to prove me wrong. If he does, then he has a much better chance of winning this fight. But I don't think he's going to change it up much. He's going to try and box him up, and he's going to get hurt and finished in the end of the third or fourth round. But yeah, what are you guys thinking on this one?
Crons?
Yeah, I like Giga. I like him by decision. I think there's great value. What was that paying? Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, plus 260. I think I got it at 275 there yesterday, but to Z-Ball's point, it looks like money's coming in on the over and decisions. Yeah, I mean, really good stylistic matchup, right? Two unreal strikers, one more of a puncher, one more of a kickboxer, like Z said. But yeah, guts going with Giga on the over by points. Kattar was looking up his record. He hasn't been stopped since 2008. That's fucking 14 years.
Yeah.
Any loss he's had is by decision. It's a war. The guy's got a hell of a chin. I think that continues. And I could even see it being a split, to be honest, like a 3-2 bloodbath war for the Giga Meister. How about you, Zoni?
Yeah, I can't really argue with any of that. The one thing I would say is I heard Kattar talking in his interview today, and he was talking about how he survived Holloway. And like, he was like, but I came away from that fight and like, I didn't like ignore it, because obviously he got beat to shit, right? Like that was a fucking onslaught. He looked at stylistically how Holloway fought him, and he's like, if I fought Holloway again, which I'm gonna do, I know kind of whether he can stop what Holloway does, like his game plan or not. That's another thing, right? But he's like, I know what he did, I know why I lost, I know why I got beat. I think I can fix that for our fight. So you can take that two ways. One, I don't know why he'd overlook this fight. It's a huge fight. Or just two, he's extremely confident. He's like, yeah, I took a year off. I didn't take 3 months or 6 months off and then fight after I got murdered. I took a whole year, reset. Yeah. I watched that fight. I learned. If you don't win, you learn, right? And maybe that newfound confidence pulls him ahead of Giga here. So I like the 3.5 over. I think this does go to a decision. So I agree with all you guys. But I do love sprinkling a little bit of money on Kattar, because, I mean, a year off is a long time. I don't think ring rust is like it was 15, 20 years ago. I really don't. I think the training regimens supersede that. I think the amount of times and two-a-days and the hours that you put in, I think it doesn't matter. I really don't. Ring rust is only like a mental thing. Like, I haven't fought in 18 months and I'm going back. Oh my God, how am I going to be? No, you're just going to be who you are if you just believe in that. So I'm going to sprinkle a little on Kattar, and I am going to pick over 3.5 rounds. I think Giga wins by decision. I think that's what you guys said. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no, and the one thing is with what was I going to say with Kattar there as well. I think the reason why I'm going with the finish by Giga there is that Kattar it lasted a long time with Holloway, but Holloway's not as much a power puncher, right?
No, he's not.
Giga was he was doing he I don't know if anyone saw, like, I think in his little, he threw some shade at Holloway. So he's like, I don't take 500 punches to knock them out or something like that, right? So I mean, like, that's the only and also I feel like because Kattar lasted so long, like he did, like, again, it did go to decision, right? With
They
Holloway,
could have
right?
stopped it, I think.
They could have stopped it, right? But it did go to decision. So that's why everyone should be on Giga by decision, I feel like. Like, it shouldn't be plus 260. It shouldn't be that high.
I hear what you're saying.
But that's why it almost seems like a trap bet to me somehow. But the thing is like, Giga,
I can see that.
he really hasn't really, okay, so he finished Barboza and he finished Cub Swanson. That's the only, he's finished 2 guys. That's it. Right. So it's not like he's been doing this for like 7 years. Like, Kattar's fought some pretty fucked up people, like really good people, like Shane Burgos. He fought him earlier on and like messed him up.
That KO was fucking nice.
And also, like, Kattar does ridiculous things. Like, he even Ricardo Lamas, he does like that weird patty cake thing where he like lures them in. He doesn't really do it, and then he goes da, 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 and then he does it really quickly after that.
It's you're saying though, it's hard to compare recency bias against Holloway, who had this certain plan and executed it perfectly, and that's who he is. But Holloway's one of the best, if not the best featherweight ever. So like, it's hard to compare Kattar to him. So I don't know, man. But
it's a really tough one to find the right spot here to. Well, I think at the end, I would almost not, if I had to do one little thing, like, again, the overs. And that's another thing. 3.5 over 3.5 is minus 120. I didn't specifically say that, so I want.
Is it minus 120? Didn't I say it was plus 100 the other day, Kronz?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The money's coming in on it.
It's so
Is it minus 120 now?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
So like, that's why, I guess
crazy.
same with 2.5. It was minus 150. Now it's minus 175, literally 24 hours ago.
Yeah, I got Giga plus 275 by decision. Now it's plus 260. So yeah.
Nice.
By Saturday, Z-Balls is right. Like, get in those parlays now, guys. Because
on Tapology too, like, a lot of guys were saying that it's almost better earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday, because then by the time like the people that bet are mid to late week,
the sharps,
it's changed. It flips.
They say every sport's like that. You want to get in your bets earlier, because if you do it right before kickoff or tip off, whatever that sport is, it's like the hardest line to beat.
Exactly. It's adjusted so much, right? By that time, the market's adjusted it to the right point.
I'd agree with that 100%, Kronz, but like maybe not in a COVID world with like these late, because if the fight gets scrapped, it's one guy against another. But like, if it's like hockey, it's been a shit show. So I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But like football,
this is everything else being equal. If the rosters are frozen and you know, there's no torn ACLs at practice.
100%.
Tornadoes or
right.
Yeah.
So, cool. We got 5 minutes left for. I know not the strongest card in the world, but any other maybe value plays? Or or at least on my end, that was the only one I had like actual kind of main analysis for. The only ones I want to point to, I think, if you want to like, you got to give some things to parlay with, at least with some of the things I spoke about. You can't do 2 things in the same fight, right? I don't believe, right? So fight to go to the distance, Chikadze and Jennifer Maia. Minus 350, not good for parlays. Is obviously not alone, but I just think that's a good guarantee to have. Not guarantee, obviously nothing's guarantee, but very good to happen. And then
it's
also
a rematch too, right?
What's that? Oh,
yes, it's a rematch as well. Like, it's this fight. These girls are right in the top 5 there, so it's actually a pretty big fight. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it does go to decision. Sorry, Royval there, you were saying.
No, I mean, like, again, like, you're not, I just, from what I saw, that was the one to at least try and parlay. Royval minus 170 was the other one I was leaning on, that I got a chance to take a look at. But that's it for me, boys. What are you guys looking at?
Yeah, I can go real quick. I know you might have a bit more me-zone, but I was liking a bounce back win for Brandon Royval. I think he's due. I think that he gets a close, hard-fought battle win over Bontorin. And then just that Joe Anderson Brito, I remember seeing him on Contender Series. kind of a crazy looking guy. He looks like he's 50 years old. His face is just so old.
Oh,
but
it's
he's
like Morgan
26.
Freeman's, but he's 26.
Yeah, and just I don't know. I have a real feeling he's going to crush this Bill Algeo. There's not much that I've been impressed with looking at that guy's record. So yeah, Brito, Royval, Chikadze, $15 paying 57. So pretty good. Almost 3-1 odds there.
Nice.
Yeah, and,
Almost 4-1. Sorry.
Yeah, that's great value. That's great value.
Yeah, 3 favorites parlayed, money line.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
That's how January starts. All favorites, baby. So market just goes hot January. Let's go.
Why wouldn't you? I was just checking. The canceled and fizzled bouts for this card is 11. 11 fights canceled. That's insane.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll just give
Omicron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and there was
basically-
2 late replacements here. So Kevin Crooms jumping in for a guy we were going to have on our podcast against Brian Kelleher. He gets a pretty good fight. TJ Brown is fighting now. Charles Rosu jumped in last second. The only suggestion I'm going to give, they didn't get rid of that fight, did they? I just refreshed it.
Which
my
one?
God, it literally just got rescheduled. So I can't even, I'm not even going to give a suggestion here.
Okay, then I'll
Just got
step in.
canceled. Yeah,
So, and I'll
sorry.
step in. The co-main headline, it's not the best co-main headline I've ever seen, but Chase Sherman, Jake Collier.
Yeah,
I like Collier to get it done.
Hooks
It's
in
kind of
alone.
weird. Both these heavyweights go to a decision quite often. So there could be some hidden value, right? If they're, in the limelight here being co-main, likely their first fight in prime time. So anyways, decision is paying plus 162, which I think is pretty good value for the favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump on Collier.
I
by
think
points.
Collier could mix up the wrestling. I agree with
Yep.
you on that one. I'm gonna hop in with you on that one. If
Beauty.
you look at Collier though, like on his Tapology, see how many weight classes this guy's fought in. So we talked to him on the pod here, but he's been, I think, like 5, like more than Johnson, like Rumble Johnson, who's been in a ton as well. Collier's a big boy, but I think he's going to mix in the wrestling here against Sherman. I really do, and I like your decision.
Beauty. Well, hey, I think we've shared some winners with y'all, so lock them in now so you can get maximum value. Got a big card next weekend, pay-per-view, Gone Nagano in Anaheim. Antonio Brown's going to be cage side, so that should be interesting. But yeah, look forward to a winning year here in 2022 with everyone, and wishing you all the best here in January. And stay safe. Click subscribe, share it with a friend, and we'll meet you at the cashier.
Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we have 8-3 fighter from the States. He's got a big fight coming up next weekend. Lucky to have on Dakota, Harry Bush. How's it going today?
It's going great. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks. I appreciate your time. And, how was the weekend? Did you get up to anything?
Yeah, it was good being home for, a weekend, a full weekend after, long training camp, getting, spent some good family time, got to go out and actually, with my weight being so good, got to go out to eat a couple times this weekend, and actually just got back from breakfast with the family. So it's been going great, before I, start this weight cut, tomorrow. Everything's lined up great, and I can't wait to get the show on the road.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw, we spoke quickly. I saw a picture of you with the turkey there. So you do a little bit of hunting. What do you hunt? And, is season's coming up here, right? So.
Yeah. Deer season, archery season opens up September 15th. So this coming Wednesday, it'll be opening. So I'll be out of town for that. So that's kind of a bummer, but I got plenty of time to get back home and, go deer hunting. So I'm not too worried there. the following weekend I'll probably be in the woods after my fight. But turkey hunting, yeah, that's my jam. I love that more than anything, and I can't wait for the spring season. That's definitely my number one.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a fellow hunter myself. I've only been turkey hunting once, but I do have a couple of deer and I do a lot of waterfowl. So I'm looking forward to that coming up soon. But yeah, so just where did you grow up and what got you into MMA?
So I grew up in a small town, 4,000 people, called St. Clair, Missouri. There's not much comes out of here. Just a small, hometown, like football, town really. And grew up playing sports, wrestling, football, baseball. And my father actually fought MMA when I was growing up. Like I was probably, in sixth grade-ish when he started. And he just fought as an amateur on a promotion called Cage Championships, which was a guy named Patrick Smith, who is also now my father-in-law and my coach as well. So
go
it
figure.
all came full circle.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so it's always, good to get influenced by family members, especially dad, right? So I played a lot of sports as well, and now I got my own kids, and I'm trying to, not influence them and change their mind, but introduce them and
just put them around it, let them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they take off with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I watch a lot of LFA myself, so definitely familiar. Saw a few of your fights, and that's a great promotion, and obviously had you there for many fights. So the UFC recognizes them pretty well. So just speak to fighting in that organization, and then ultimately getting the call to the UFC.
Yeah, the LFA is they're the top notch feeder organization in the country. Savin Bean, he's one of the higher up owners and partners in the LFA with Ed and Mark and all them guys. So he was actually talking to us about like 29, almost 30% of the UFC roster is guys from the LFA, and that's just incredible. And I had 7 fights with them. Very tough schedule. Fought super tough competition. And they really prepare you, because it's a big stage fight for them. That's a great production. You get treated like you're in the UFC. You get to see, how the big show really works and how the ball gets rolling. So, yeah, I can't thank them guys enough. They really jump-started my career, and they really pushed me to that next, to getting me ready for the next level. So I got all love for them guys, and I'm ready to get this, first UFC win and, let them guys know that they're a part of it as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. They are fantastic. And so you did get the call, and then you fought Austin Hubbard. That was your introduction to the UFC. How do you think that fight went, and kind of where do we see the differences next weekend of, what you took away from that and just your development?
Yeah, all I took away from that fight was, that on paper, I was supposed to lose that fight. I was supposed to go in there and, should have got walked through. And I don't think that was the case. And not in my mind, I was coming to play the underdog, taking a fight on short notice. I don't care what anyone says. You can stay training, because I stay training, pretty much year round. But there's a difference in, an 8-week training camp shape versus, just being in shape. It's a huge difference. Austin's a good dude, taking nothing from him at all. But I think if I had a full camp, it'd be a different story. I took the first round on all 3 judges' scorecards, and I truly feel I'm a better fighter than him, but it doesn't matter. He got the win, and it got my foot in the door. So now I can only do with what I can control from here on out. So starting this coming weekend, I'm going to start, racking up the wins and get that streak built up.
Absolutely. And like you said, you have a full training camp this time around. So, I mean, you're ready to go. There's no like crazy surprises. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right, but it's Zhu Rong, I think.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very good record. Do you know anything about him, and how do you think you stack up against him?
All I know is he's the youngest guy on the UFC roster. He's 21 years old. He's out of China, and he's 0-1 in the UFC as well.
Yeah.
I just think he's a striker, but I'm gonna expect, the best version of him. I'm gonna expect a killer in there, and if I didn't, that'd be a disrespect to him and the game. So
Yeah,
you can't do that. But I just think, as far as my skill set and his, I just think I'm a better striker. I'm a better grappler. I got a bigger heart. I got, anything you want to put on paper, any categories, I think I got him beat. And I can talk about it all I want, but come Saturday, I get to prove it. And that's what I'm so excited for, is actually to get to show the world, who I am. And, that there's a lot of hype behind this guy that I'm really going to derail it.
yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, some of these guys do have a lot of hype, but no reason why somebody that's more of a complete mixed martial artist can't win, right? The thing that I took away from what you said, it speaks volumes. One of the fighters in the UFC, Jamahal Hill, came out and he had, he had gotten some trouble against Paul Craig, and got injured pretty badly, and he came out this week and said, I disrespected the game. I was too arrogant, and you can't do that. And you just said you can't do that either. So I love the way you put that, because it's true.
Yeah, it'll flatten you, man. If you think you're too big for it, it'll always find a way to put you in your place.
Humbling, right? Like,
yeah, very much so. It's the craziest, emotions in any sport in the world. Is, like everyone says, the highest the highs and lowest the lows. So I just want to feel the high, and that's what I'm prepared for. Whatever it takes to get the win. I'm going in there for a 3-round dogfight or a 20-second knockout. Wherever it shows up, I'm getting the win.
Yeah. One more quick example. I always refer to the Bisping Hendo fight. I wasn't a big Bisping fan, and then he got absolutely smashed. And then it kind of humbled Bisping, and now I love the guy. I love listening to him.
Yeah.
So,
I used to, I used to not have any words nice to say about Bisping, but now, after, talking to him and he messaged me after my last fight and, talked to me a little bit, and he's a great dude. And I couldn't say anything bad about him. And that moment there probably humbled him a lot and made him realize that he's human and he's still got to work hard, and he ended up doing so and ended up getting the title, so what a great story.
Yeah, something to maybe model yourself after. Sounds like it anyways, with your IQ and your mindset. So just what do you like to do for fun when the fight's over? Do you have any special things you like to do? I know hunting would be one of them, but
so after the fight, immediately I'm gonna try to get the best food I can find to get my hands on, and probably drink a couple beers and hang out with all the guys, and just soak it all in and enjoy the moment. And then when I get home, spend some family time. Go to some football games. My son's 5 and he's playing flag football, and his first game's actually the day of my fight, so I'm gonna miss that. But I'll get to really enjoy the rest of the season and get in the woods, try to get some of these target bucks I got knocked off the hit list, and just enjoying the fall. We love the fall time, around here, with a lot of festivals and all kinds of Oktoberfest, and just a good time. So I'm excited, to get this win out of the way, and see what the UFC's got playing next for me, and just hit the ground running.
Yeah, you'll knock that buck off this Saturday, and then you can get to the woods and knock those ones off.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, our last segment here, it's called Between Rounds, and just gonna rapid fire a few questions for you, okay?
All right.
What's your favorite thing to eat during an actual like fight camp, and then a cheat meal after a fight?
So my favorite meal go-to is probably, I would say, like rotisserie style chicken, we'll cook, and just whatever different ways, stuffing peppers or rice, or that's kind of my go-to. But cheat meal would definitely be 100% sushi. That's the go-to.
What's your favorite spot in America? So a place you've gone to, could be a place where you've hunted, could be a place where you've traveled to.
So far, I would say, man, I love Missouri. I love fishing streams, like for smallmouth bass, and just wading creeks and hunting the woods here, turkey hunting, deer hunting, everything. I love where I'm at. Everyone wants to get out of here, but it's beautiful and I love it. So it's definitely my favorite place.
Yeah, and have you traveled outside of America? If so, what's your favorite spot?
I have been to Abu Dhabi. I went to Fight Island, and I've been to Mexico when I was a kid as well. So, but I'd say Abu Dhabi has to be my favorite. But if I had a place to pick to go to, I would want to go somewhere, up in Canada, do some fishing for muskies, stuff like that up there, maybe getting some bear hunting in or something like that.
Well, that's where I'm from. So you ever want to hit me up, you let me know, okay?
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and just like a favorite movie of all time.
Favorite movie is Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Solid. And kind of music that you listen to?
That whole soundtrack, like the
Oh, yeah.
80s classic rock. That's what I listen to.
And then this Saturday, how does the fight play out in your mind?
I think I'm gonna get him out before 15 minutes. Whether it's submission or knockout or TKO, wherever it comes, I'm taking it. I don't get paid by the minute. I just get paid for the fight. So
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get out unharmed and make it quick and as pretty as possible.
Sounds good. We wish you luck. Thank you so much for your time. Can't wait till next Saturday. We had a bunch of fight cards, promotions that weren't active this weekend, so wasn't able to watch anything. Right. So
yeah, it was heck. Not seeing anything. It's weird.
Looking forward to next weekend. We get back on a nice run here of some events, and can't wait for you to kick it off. So thank you so much. Good luck in your fight. We appreciate your time. Dakota Bush. This is Hooks in MMA. Thanks so much, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry to finish. Any sponsors that you wanted to
Oh, yeah. I just want to thank all my teammates here, at the pit, all the guys that train with me from St. Charles, up at Glory MMA, all the time I spent up there. Everyone in the town that supports me, friends, family, fans all across the world. I appreciate it. And this is why I do it. I'm trying to be a positive influence, and just show everyone that there's hard workers, blue collar guys out there like me that'll do what it takes to get the win and, to be successful. So you're not alone out there, and let's get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Want nothing more for you. Good luck this week, and we'll chat again soon sometime. Take care, bro.
I appreciate it.